So there's been an awful lot of thought and not much action. And if I had money, I would go out and do more action. But there are certain constraints that are financial that keep people from doing that. But I hear a lot of talk from people that are the edgiest and, of course, are anonymous that say we need to be black pilled and we need for everything to get worse and worse and worse. And somehow that things getting worse in and of itself will make people spring to action or do the right thing or become aware. And I don't think a winning strategy. I think it's actually a defeatist strategy. I've looked to places like Rhodesia and South Africa where things got worse and worse, and many of the people that were awakened to the Jewish problem were waiting for things to get worse. And they've gotten worse. And torture of little girls and little boys and wives in front of fathers until then they too are lastly killed after they've been forced to watch the whole thing. Their neighbors aren't waking up. Their neighbors are terrified. All of the people that could be awakened as potential. And as the potential of our people declines with time, utilization will become less relevant. Right now, there are as many of us as there are going to be in terms of people that have the potential to wake up. Members of our group, if you're white, if you're Palestinian, then members of your group. Our numbers are only going to decline, and the enemy, the Jews, are going to continue to secure and lock stuff down on the internet. This was a new form. They've eventually figured out how to lock this down, just as they locked down films and moved everything, film production, to Hollywood, and they centralized control over it, often subsidizing their flops so they could get their cultural poison out even at a loss. The goal is to take power from the Jews. The goal is to get them out of power, to stop the cultural subversion. And being anonymous on the internet, being ultra black-pilled, and that's the new trend, be black-pilled and anonymous on the internet. I'm noticing that there are so many different ways of subversion that are easy for the Jews, and they rely on crypsis, as Dr. Kevin MacDonald calls it. Well, there's no need for crypsis when you're anonymous. You can put on any persona, any face. And